check this out. So we got the OEM brand new rubber bushing grommet thingies, whatever you want to call them there, brand new right there. And when this baby goes on, she is, we'll just scratch my camera, all this shit, she fits in there perfect, and she goes on super snug. Yeah, so do I rock this? Because it looks kind of like, you can just tell it looks cheesy. It looks like one of those things to me that you used to put like on your finger and then give somebody a handshake and it would like vibrate and scare them. That's what it reminds me of, and I don't like that. Or should I think this is the good one here, the better looking one. Yeah, should I take this? I haven't even seen if it fit. Should. The O-ring is a little bit cracked, it's getting there. But should I take one of these original ones? Oh, they don't even line up right. I don't want to break anything. Man, that's a bummer, because I really wanted to use one of these because I like the way they look and they're original. But I guess not, dude. We'll get a better look at these bad boys. They're the Dan Adams Next Level Bend Edition, whatever you want to call it. But they are super nice. These are actually the bars I was originally going to buy from day one when I first built my CT70, but the Pro Tapers were like $12 cheaper, and I was on a very serious budget when I built that. Like, it took me like 4 months just to save up for the 140. That's how bad. I didn't get the bike done until like late in the summer because of it, but the budget days are over. I'm a fucking baller now, so we'll just get stuff done faster. Alright, I just got done cutting the fender. That's how much we took off. It would be about right there. Ugly. I changed out the bearings this came with the all balls tapered bearings. The wheels should be here any day. Tires came though. 120/90/10 for the front, same thing I have in the CT. But for the rear, I decided to go with a 130/90/10, which is 19 inches tall. It's gonna look huge on this, but hopefully it'll look good. We got the fenders done. I just obviously spray painted them white, cheap and fast, with some, hit it with some satin first, and then some gloss, and then some clear. They look alright. But yeah, so there it is so far. We got the front end, the bars, shocks, the swing arm. I was riding this thing today, and I realized how filthy it is. So I'm just going to give it a wipe down with, I don't know, probably interior wipes, but I'm going to use them, so we're going to clean it up. You gotta remember, everything on this bike is spray painted. The frame, the fenders, the wheels, the swing arm, it's all just cheap spray paint. So I mean, nothing actually cleans up good. But I mean, the wheels are actually kind of white now. Fender's kind of white. Frame still looks like shit, but that always does because of all the gas I've spilt on it, eating away the paint. The rear wheel looks pretty good. On the chain side, the rear wheel was literally black, like black. So that's about a 90% improvement on that one. But then you can see that's never going to be white again unless I paint it because of all the chain lube, dirt, all that stuff that's going on it. This is all gross because of all the gas I've spilt
on the spray paint and then wiping it with a white rag or a blue shop towel and all the fibers stick into the paint. So that's permanently wrecked, but that's fine. This also cost me like $12 to paint, so I don't really, not too worried about it. But everything else is wiped down and actually looks halfway decent. Because I mean, I don't think I've ever, I think that's like the second time I've ever wiped this thing down. I didn't wipe the whole thing down. I didn't really touch the motor or anything like that. Just kind of the main things that get dirty. But that's probably the second or third time in the last 4 years I've actually, I wouldn't even say washed it, but kind of wiped it down. So it gets pretty dirty because I don't wash it, because it just gets dirty so fast. I don't really see a point in washing it. And it's just the bike, you know, that I take out and bash on, so it doesn't have to look pretty. But I figured I'd wipe it down because I went to the motorcycle shop down the street to see if they had some things, which they didn't. But when I was there, I was talking to the guy, and he kept calling this a Grom. And I'm like, no, it's a 1970 CT70, this and that. And he's like, oh, it's old. I was like, yeah, it's not a Grom. It's way cooler than a Grom, suckers. But I was kind of showing it to him, and I was like, man, it was almost embarrassing with how dirty it was. The wheels were black. It just looked filthy. But so I figured I give it a quick wipe down. I don't even know what I used. These are probably like interior wipes for a car. It's just the first thing I grabbed. It shows interior. 20% more though, so it's fine. And it actually worked pretty well, but figured I'd just polish this turd up real quick while I'm out here, so she looks good. But yeah, if you guys are looking for an exhaust that's gonna sound good and not fall apart, this is a good one. I went through a few cheap ones, and the one, even just the 140, would literally just shake them apart. They would crack, the welds would break, I'd have to get everything re-welded, the muffler would blow apart, there'd be stuff flying out of it, it sounded like trash. It was a nightmare, and I think I paid like $240 for this, and it's literally been perfect. It's not going to fall apart. You can even take the muffler off and buy new packing and pack it right back in there, seal it up, and you're good to go. And all you got to do for the CT, since it doesn't line up, because I think it's for like a CRF50 or something like that, I took a piece of flat stock, I S-bended it, and made a bracket. It's not going anywhere. But yeah, and then another thing people ask me about just about 24/7 is my headlight. Where do I get it? That's the brand right there. Nightlight, I'm pretty sure. It's a 7-inch LED light bar. They're like $16 on Amazon. That's literally all it is. And if you want to see, I guess we can see how bright it is quick. So I'll turn all the lights off in here. Can't even see the bike now, I'm probably going to trip over it. It's pitch dark in here. I'll see if I can aim it this way. And like the camera doesn't even do it justice. It's pretty gnarly bright. Like, cars are not happy when you come at them, so I have it angled down just a little bit so I'm not blinding everybody completely. And then another thing, I guess I'll show you my tail light. There it is. That's just the running light. There's the brake light. That's actually really bright too. It has blinkers you can also wire up. I don't have blinkers on this bike because I don't need them. But all the taillight is, and these are super cheap too. It's just a little LED strip with two-sided like 3M tape and a little bit of wiring coming off of it, which I have looped up into here obviously. But those are the lights for anybody that wanted to know. I believe the taillight is like $8 and the headlight's like $16. And I've had both of those on the bike for like headlight at least 2 years. So this is all it is. And it's flexible, so you can mount it however you want and it's not going to break. I think we might fire this thing up, let it idle for a little bit. It hasn't ran in a while. I started it up like last week and let it run for like 45 minutes because I think she'll be getting a tune here soon, which I know I've said before, but that was before winter, and winter's over. Hopefully we can get this thing tuned within the next, I mean, within the next week, but ideally, but I mean, if not, hopefully soon. Because I want to get this thing out of the garage and hit the streets with it, and just know it's done and know it's finished. Oh my god, I'm still slipping on shit. Because I just want it to be, you know, done. I might throw the fenders on the Z50 for the final time, and they're done. Like I said, they're just spray paint. It's nothing, you know, it's nothing good looking. It's just they're white, and that's all I needed. Jesus. We'll just scratch it all to hell quick. Well, we're going to repaint that quick, just in some spots, since I just dropped it on the floor. Unbelievable. That's me for you. Anyways, we'll get that taken care of, and then got some more stuff for the Z coming. Alright, so this weekend was pretty crazy. We had a birthday party, and it was pretty busy, so I've been slacking, but the 5-year-old got her own bike, so my wheels finally came in. I'm not sure if I'm going to paint them or not, because they kind of look good, but these tires, I got the 120 90-10s up front and the 130 90-10 in the rear. I might have went a little bit too big, especially on the rear. It's huge. This thing looks awkward standing up on its own, but we're going to rock it anyways, because I'm just going to try to figure out a way to lower the front of the bike about an inch or two, and then I either am going to get some shorter shocks or just deal with it being a little bit higher. But I'd like to kind of straighten out the swing arm a little bit, lower it down, because this thing will look good lowered, but it's a little bit too high with the tire size. But so we got the front end on for good. We got the fly bars on, front brakes all hooked up, tires are on. I went down the street to my closest motorcycle shop and asked them how much to mount those 2 tires on those wheels, and they told me $30 a piece. So that's $60, which I obviously wasn't going to pay that to mount some 10-inch tires. So I went on Amazon and I got these wheel spoons for $20, and it came with little protectors, whatever. $20, and I got both these tires on in less than 20 minutes with some Windex. Wasn't hard at all. So still gotta get a new seat. Fenders are on, tires and wheels are on. I gotta still put the sprocket on the rear and get the spacers all sorted out for the axle and whatnot. But I mean, it's a roller now. I had it on the ground, I was sitting on it, seeing how comfortable it was with the bars and everything. But another thing, we took this out yesterday for the first drive it's ever taken since it's been supercharged, just to kind of get drivability put into the tune, so I could drive it to work and back if I want, stuff like that. Drove it about 5 miles yesterday, just kind of driving it around, getting some heat into it. I hit like 3 pounds of boost. It's clearly not tuned for it, but I couldn't resist. You know, I got a little ignorant. But I'm gonna plan on going to the dyno this weekend if all works out. But I mean, she drove fine. It runs good, makes cool noises. It didn't leak, it dropped, didn't smoke, didn't do nothing weird. Trans feels good. So I'll put that little clip. It's nothing exciting. It was just me and Ron kind of driving around, getting the tune worked out for drivability. But I'll throw that in there anyways. Pretty big. But I think once the motor's on and everything's, you know, exhaust motor, everything's on, it won't look as awkward with the big tires, especially if I can get it lower a little bit. Should look pretty good. There's a little update since I've been slacking this weekend. But yeah, I was really excited to take this thing for the first drive. The exhaust I built, which exhaust is one thing I completely hate more than anything. I welded it myself, you know, measured it all, did everything myself with the exhaust. And it lasted 5 miles and it didn't fall apart, and it sounds really good with that MagnaFlow muffler on it. So it's just straight pipe tube MagnaFlow. The new shift box feels awesome. Shifts really good with that. So I'm going to try to get on the dyno this Saturday or Sunday, hopefully, and then we'll have a video for that and see what it makes. But it was good to just get it out and get the rust off the brakes, hear some cool noises. You know, I spent all that money on this thing, and it's just been sitting since October, so pretty cool to get it out.